1971 to 1974. Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler.
Game 240, Dodgers at Astros.
Welcome back, baseball fans. 1971-74 Carryover League. Got a big series tonight in the National League West. Two teams playing, well, good baseball in this timeline. And it is these teams always go long in series, and today is no different. This has been a battle between the Dodgers and Astros. Astros got out to a lightning quick start this season, and then the Dodgers got out to a slow start, but then they swept the Braves to keep their season going. They get out of a hole, and that's where we are today. Two teams fighting, scratching and clawing in the very competitive National League and the National League West. Let's take a look what happened. We open up in Houston, Game 1. Don Sutton, at the height of his powers with his magnificent 72 card against Bob Johnson. And this is pretty easy for the Dodgers. They're off of the high of beating the Braves, and it continues with a 9-2 drubbing of the Astros in a Game 1. If you're going to lose a game in a series and get blown out in Game 1, Houston, plenty of time to come back. So you get a 3-run homer by Steve Garvey in this one, a homer by Ferguson, a couple more singles. They just litter this game. They put 19 men on base. And only a 2-run homer by Jim Wynn is the damage for the Astros. 9-2 victory for Sutton and company. But the Astros have an answer in Game 2, and that answer in Game 2 is Mr. Larry Dierker. 6-0 Astro victory. Neither game particularly exciting, as they're one-sided. Dierker, the Astro ace, 8 hits in a shutout, 3 walks, a couple Ks. Beating up on Andy Messersmith and the Dodgers. Some sloppy defense in this. Big gap in defensive prowess at shortstop, by the way. Bill Russell's a 4E42. Roger Metzger's a 1E14. That is something to watch for in this series. And I guarantee you, they're not giving Metzger a day off. Not against the Dodgers. They might give him days off against the Giants and Padres. But with the Dodger pitching staff, this is the best chance to stay close in low-scoring games. Of course, they finally get to Messersmith in the 8th. Walk, home run, and they get to Pete Mickelson with another home run. Those were by Cedeno and Jose Cruz. All tied up a game apiece. Let's go to L.A. Game 3 in L.A., and the Astros keep it going. And this is a high-scoring game, oddly. Bad defense helped. Gary Peters versus Claude Osteen. It's Osteen having an ugly day. A triple, a single, another Bill Russell error, fielder's choice, single-double. Back-to-back triples and a sac fly here. A homer by Jim Wynn there. And they even get the Gary Wazlewski for 2 short runs in the 9th. This is a 9-5 game. Gary Peters, the number 3 starter of the Astros, is the weak link, but he went through 6 innings, giving up just 9 hits and 5 runs, only 2 were earned. So Dodgers made a mistake losing to Gary Peters today. That's the game you want in this series. And Frank Lindsay came on in the 9th inning, put 4 men on, made it interesting. But it's a 9-7 Astro win. So, in a Game 4, they're going to send Sutton back on short rest as the season is starting to get ugly for the Dodgers. They're playing under 500 baseball. So what does Sutton do in a Game 4 with his team against the wall? Complete 8 innings, 5 hits, and a run. And a 6-1 victory over Ken Forsch. The middle innings, he kind of fell apart. Frank Lindsay came on in. And you get runs in the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th innings off of Ken Forsch and Frank Lindsay. This thing's all tied up. But if you notice, it's Don Sutton versus the Astros. Game 5. Game 5 in L.A., and Dodgers really need to win getaway game, and they do not win getaway game. Larry Dierker matches Sutton. He beats Tommy John by a score of 4-2. A Joe Morgan homer in this one, and a Jim Wynn homer in this one. The Dodgers got a couple runs in the first, and then nothing after that And the Astros lead this series 3-2. The Dodgers are having a come-to-something moment here. They got to win a game or two, or they're going to see their season. I mean, it was a nice story when they swept the Braves, but that's only good for, if you lose the other 3 series you play, you're going to have a hard time getting back to 500. And that's where we're at. Game 6 in Houston. Today's starting pitchers for the Dodgers is Andy Messersmith. 20-game winner in 71 with a 2.99 ERA, 277 innings. And Bob Johnson. Both have lost in this series, by the way. Bob Johnson was a Pirate in 71 with a 3.45 ERA. Would have gotten a World Series ring for those 71 Pirates. And if this goes 7, it will be Don Sutton. He will battle Gary Peters. So huge advantage for the Dodgers. The exhausted Don Sutton pitching on 3 days rest twice in this series. Let's get started. Leading off, Andy Messersmith versus Bob Johnson in a sold-out Astrodome. They love their Astros here. Leading off, it's Willie Davis. Willie Davis leading off. Oops, sorry. 53 is a fly ball to right X. And the right fielder is Cruz. He's a 2, and that is the first out. Batting second is Davey Lopes. 1-7, homer 1-6, and he missed it and flied out. And Bill Buckner. 3-11, grounds the second. Bottom of 1. It'll be Jim Wynn leading off. 5-10, homer 1-6, double of Messersmith's a double. Dennis Mankey 2-9, grounds to short. Jose Cruz 57's a K, and with 2 outs, it's Cedeno. 37's a walk. 2 on, 2 outs for Bob Watson. 2-11, flies to right. Willie Crawford. 2-8 is a strikeout. Steve Garvey. 1-7, grounds to short, and with 2 outs, it's Joe Ferguson. 48 is a K. Bob Johnson, 6 up and down. Had a good start for the Dodgers, trying to, get something going here. They've, stumbling along. Joe Haig, 2-7 is a K. Doug Rader, 2-8 is a 2-base hit. Johnny Edwards, 58. Double 1-8 off Messersmith is a base hit and an RBI, and your Astros take a 1-0 lead. Roger Metzger, 48's a walk. 2 on, 1 out for Jim Wynn. 2-5 is a K. And with 2 outs, Mankey, 48, is another walk. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Big at-bat here for Jose Cruz. 52, rolls to the mound. Well, Astros had a chance to blow the thing up. Could not do it. We go to the third. It's Jim Rosario. 46 is a walk. The Dodgers have a base runner. Bill Russell will hit and run. Moves the runner to second base. Ron Say batting 9th on this team. Second C. Runner goes to third for Willie Davis. 68 is a double 1-2 off of Johnson, is a single and an RBI. And we have a 1-1 tie. Willie Davis is going to attempt to steal with 2 outs. 13 against Edwards. A stealer is going to be out stealing. Bottom of the third. Cedeno. 46, second X. Lopes a 3-12 at second base. Oh, that's a base hit. Cedeno is a double-A stealer. He's going to steal against Ferguson, and he is going to be safe in there. He's in there. Bob Watson, 3-11, a walk. 2 on for Joe Haig, 49, another walk. Messersmith. Really in trouble today. He has walked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in 3 innings. Bases loaded, nobody out. Playing back, hoping for a double play. It's Doug Rader. 3-12, short B+. Well, at least it didn't bring the infield up. That would have been a disaster. It is a fielder's choice, and our run scores, and it's 2-1. Now they're going to bring the infield up for Johnny Edwards. 2-9, let's take a look at a card. John Edwards. His 72 Astro card at 268. Left-handed hitting catcher with power. Always good to find those. And 2-9 is triple, 1-2 double. That is a 2-base hit. That'll score 1 run. Doug Rader will hold at third. Big inning happening here. Second and third, 1 out. They're going to bring it up for Roger Metzger. 2-7. Let's take a look at the Roger Metzger card. He might get a series MVP consideration. Not really. But his defense has been amazing as a 1A14 shortstop, where Bill Russell's been awful, and that's been more than enough of a gap to help the Astros in what looks like it could potentially be a closeout game, as they're building a huge lead here in the third inning. That is a 2-7, triple 1-17, or maybe not. He misses it. He missed it, so it's still just a single ... though a single ... still does score 2 runs. Scores that guy and that guy, the fielder's choice guy and the guy who just doubled. So you got Metzger at first with 1 out in a 5-1 game. We go back up top to Jim Wynn. 4-10 center X, and Willie Davis a 1-8. And a 1-8 center field. Are you looking at this, folks? It is the Astrodome Mystique. He loses it in the lights or the speakers or the catwalk or something. But that is a 3-base error. It's not 1966, Willie. It's a 3-base error for Willie Davis. That was 3 errors in 1 inning. It wasn't a 3-base error. But that is a 3-base error. And oh my goodness, folks, the Astros, they see what's going on here, and the fans know what's going on. This could be a dagger to the Dodgers season. Wins at third. You still just have 1 out in the inning. They got to bring the infield up for Dennis Menke. 1-6 is a walk. On the corners, up for Cruz. 54 lines of short, and with 2 outs. It's Cedeno. Let's take a look at his card before he swings, as he could potentially, with this swing, eliminate the Dodgers season. Not really. I like to say that, though. It sounds fun. Cedeno's best year, 72. 22 homers, a 320 average, AA stealer, a 1, a -3 arm. He slices, he dices, he makes julienne fries. He can do it all. Cesar Cedeno. 1-4, flies left. Except there. Dodgers need a comeback against big game Bob Johnson. It'll be Davey Lopes. 2-6, rolls a short. Bill Buckner. 2-9 is a single. Willie Crawford. 2-5 is also a single to left, but Buckner. 14, actually he will try to go coast to coast on a +3 arm outfielder, just to, shouldn't take a risk like that down 5, but he's a +3 arm, so he's going to do it. And he's thrown out on an 18! He took the bait! You have a 14 runner. You get a +3 arm, makes it a 17. You gotta run for the road team. Home team I can pick and choose. Road teams have to run on a 14, and Bill Buckner just gets thrown out at third base, down 5 runs in the 4th inning. Wow. We put this mistake on the third base coach. That's sort of the theory behind the constants and variables of when to run the bases. The visiting team, it's always a constant. You run on 14 or better. Home team, I'm the manager and I can do what I want to do. And that's the home field advantage. And the idea is that the road team's third base coach is not as familiar with the ballpark as the home team's. Angles, distance, 150 yards, you know, you get the idea. So, anyway, it's Steve Garvey. 5'11", right X. And this is Cruz, a 2-9 in right field, and he makes the grab. Well, don't think it would matter a lot, but it is a 6-1 game. So, bottom of the 4th, Watson. 49's a walk. I think I'm going to, if we get a couple more batters on, that's going to pull him as a breaker, a guy who breaks. Joe Haig walks. It's a point of weakness early with too many base runners in the first 4 frames. Doug Rader, 52, pops a short. Johnny Edwards, 46, second X. You got a 3E12 second baseman, and that's a GBA. So Messersmith luckily sticks around. Has he put 12 on yet? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, we're going to cook him after 4 disastrous innings because of the walks. So he's out of the game, even though he got that double play. Just too many men on base in 4 innings. We'll go to the 5th, Joe Ferguson. 36 is a K. Jim Rosario, 47, single 1-6, lines out. Bill Russell, 57, a base hit. and Ron Say, 69. Homer, 1 of 12 off Bob Johnson's card. It's going to be a double. Russell, 17. You got the -3 Irma Cedeno, +2 makes it a 16. Got to run on a 16, and he scores. Runner at second, 2 outs in a 6-2 game. They're within a grand slam, and it's Willie Davis who lines out. Bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okay. Bottom of the 5th. Mr. Smith's gone. We're going to go with Joe Moeller in the 5th. Yeah, it's really interesting to see the Dodgers in these kind of desperate moments often this year. Very surprising. Because everybody besides Don Sutton has been disappointing. Sutton's like at an ERA of 1. The rest of the team's got an ERA of 4. It's been that kooky and crazy. And Sutton, you know, he can't pitch on 2 days rest, and that's a shame. Roger Metzger will lead off in the bottom of the 5th. 2-7 is a triple 1 at 17 again. This time he gets it. Jim Wynn, 312 is a strikeout plus an injury. Well, now you got a new left fielder. And that'll be going out to play left field will be. Gee, who else can play the outfield on this team? Oh, Bob Watson will run out there. Oh, Joe Hagel will run out there. Joe Hagel will run out there. And Dennis Menke will play first, and Joe Morgan will come in and play second base. Morgan had the day off, and fortunately gets to come in. Here's Dennis Menke. Started the day at second, and then he moves over to first. 48, double 1 and 9 off of Moeller is a single and an RBI. It is 7-2. Jose Cruz, 47. Double 1 and 2 is a single dot. This is getting easy. Cedeno, 6'10", third X. Says 2E21, and that is an error. The Dodgers are not showed up today. First and second for Bob Watson. Center, and with 2 outs, Joe Haig, 64, short X. Again, Bill Russell, 4E42 shortstop. That's another error. 2 errors this inning so far. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and an 8-2 affair, and it's Doug Rader. 2-7's a K. 8-2 for Bob Johnson as we go to the 6th. Davey Lopes, 1-7. Homer, 1-6, and he finally hit it. He's rolled 4 times in the series. Homer, 1-6, fly ball. He has it finally. It's 8-3. Buckner, 34, lines out. Crawford, 2-7, single. Garvey, 512, right C, and Joe Ferguson, 1-3. Let's take a look at the Joe Ferguson card of 73, 25 home runs, a 263 average, and 87 walks. A full-time catcher, my goodness, with Yeager backing him up. And 1-3 is gone, and suddenly the Dodgers have awoken here in an 8-5 game. Where's all this offense suddenly coming from in the Astrodome? Jim Rosario, 58, is a pop to first. Bob Johnson's a starter 7, but we'll hook him now. Get both starters out of there before the bottom of the 6th in an 8-5 thriller. Mueller will continue in his second inning of relief to face John Edwards. 2-5, rolls a third. You know, you could empty the Dodger bullpen because if they win this game, Don Sutton's a starter 9. He could pitch the entire game 7, which is crazy to think. Roger Metzger, 44, center X. Willie Davis, a 1E8. He had problems with the ball last time, but he catches this one. And with 2 outs, it is the toy cannon. No, it's Joe Morgan in the toy cannon spot. 65. 65 off of Moeller's card is gone. That is a home run, and it's back to 9-5. The Astros do not know when to quit. Dennis Menke, 69, short X. Bill Russell, the 40-40. Said it again, base hit. It's just like on command. The gap of defensive quality is showing exactly what happens with 2 otherwise reasonably matched teams. Jose Cruz flies right. A 9-5 game. We go to the 7th. Denny LeMaster with a 4-run lead will come on in the 7th. LeMaster used to be in this rotation. Now he's in the bullpen. The 3.45 ERA. It'll be Bill Russell leading off. 49, second X. Morgan's a 2-12 at second base, makes the play. Ron Say, 6-12, pitcher. And with 2 outs, it's Willie Davis. 38, single 1 and 13, base hit. 2 outs, Davey Lopes, 59, rolls to second base. Stretch time here in Houston. The Astros piling on 9 runs in front of the home crowd. They love it. 9-5 lead in Houston. We have been enjoying the 13th Floor Elevators, a Texas band. From 66, Headstone, the contact sessions here. Doing all those songs from the Slip Inside My House record and Reverberation record. You're Gonna Miss Me and all sorts of great Splash, Where Am I, Fire Engine. The contact sessions, the beginning of the 13th Floor Elevators. All right, back to the game. The Dodgers will bring Gary Weslewski in the 7th inning here. And they might bring in Jim Brewer for 2 innings, an inning or 2, if they were to come back, Dodgers, because he would have no value and if they're not going to play a Game 7. So it'll be Cesar Cedeno leading off in the 7th. 1-3, flies to right. Bob Watson, 69, center. And Joe Haig, 211, is a fly ball to center field. We're going to the 8th inning in a 9-5 game. We're going to try Frank Lindsay for a 2-inning save for the Astros. This is it. This is their guy, their closer. A 2.14 ERA for Frank Lindsay in 1971. He was a Cardinal. Astros found this guy on waivers and they're like, what the heck are you doing, Cardinals? He's going to be our Houston closer. And Houston had Eddie Watt as their closer, who they got from Baltimore, and they moved on from him as well. So Frank Lindsay is the guy they want at the end of games, and then they're going to ask him to get 6 outs today because it would finish off the Dodgers proverbially for the season, they believe. So leading off in the 8th inning, and also defensively, everybody's in there for the Astros. Okay. It'll be Bill Buckner leading off. 35 is a single. Willie Crawford, 47 off of Lindsay, is a single to center field. Now Buckner can go station to station. He doesn't have to run to third on that one. You got -3 arm at center field. First and second for Steve Garvey. 2-9 is a single dot, which loads the bases. Promptly loads the bases in a 9-5 game. I would never have thought the Astros and Dodgers will be playing a 9-5 game, or a game where you need double digits to potentially win the thing. But Frank Lindsay's come in with nothing out of the Astro bullpen after I tallied him up. He's got the bases loaded, and he's got to deal with the 25 homers of Ferguson, Rosario Russell, and the 18 homers of Ron Say. So they're going to play back with a big 4-run lead. Hope they hit a ground ball to Roger Metzger to make me look good. Pitch to Joe Ferguson. 2-6 is ground ball short B. A fielder's choice. Run will score. Runners go to the corners. In a 9-6 game, the tie run will bat again. It's Jim Rosario. And Rosario doesn't have any power. They're going to pinch hit Steve Yeager. Let's take a look at Steve Yeager. He's got power, plenty of it here with his 72 card, 274 bat. And they're going for the big home run here. They don't have much time left in this series. So here is Steve Yeager, the tie run with 1 out in the 8th inning. Pitch to Steve. 39 is a strikeout. And with 2 outs, it'll be Bill Russell. Bill Russell, 55 off of Lindsay, is short X. What did I say? What did I just say? Hit a ball to Metzger. So 5-5, short X. Metzger, he's not a 4-42, and of course, that's an out. And of course, the Astros are leading by 3 runs. See how that works, folks? Isn't it appropriate that Bill Russell hit that ball as well? It's like, why can't I feel that good? Why couldn't the Astros win the National League West with Roger Metzger playing short against Bill Russell playing short for the Dodgers. Well, it's not that easy, folks. But in Strat-O-Matic, it sometimes can be when you even up the teams otherwise. Okay. It is a 9-6 game. They touched up Lindsay for a run. Bottom of the 8th, and we are going to indeed bring in Jim Brewer. Break glass in case of emergency, and the Dodgers are 3 outs away from falling 2 more games back in this division. Brewer is a magnificent card of 1972, 8-7, 127 ERA. We have some ridiculous ERAs in this league, folks. We got a 127 here. We got a 103 Dale Murray. We got a 054 Ray Bear card in this league. My goodness, we got some pitching. Jim Brewer in the bottom of the 8th. By the way, in the top part, Yeager will catch. Joe Ferguson will take over in right field, where he's actually pretty decent. And here we go. Bottom of the 8th, it'll be Doug Rader against Jim Brewer. 2-9 is triple 1-3, fly ball, and it's a fly ball. Batting for John Edwards will be backup catcher Dick Billings. 1-10, Dick Billings with a single, 1-out single. And now it's Metzger. What a day he's had. A walk, an RBI, 2-run single, a triple, and some great defense. And here he is with a run at first and 1 out. Metzger, 56 off Brewers a K. And with 2 outs, it's Joe Morgan. 54, fly ball to right. Buckle up, folks. If you hate the Dodgers, I got people in here that don't like the Yankees, they don't like the Dodgers, they don't like the big market teams. So you must be reveling in this. This is a chance to really rub this team in the dirt when we look at the composite box and the standings. And make me not have to play Game 7. So, Lindsay will continue. He's a relief 2. So, but anyway, the damage in that inning won't factor into the 9th. It'll be Ron Say leading off in the 9th inning. 2-8 is a walk. Not what you want to do. Now you got Willie Davis. He is 2 for 4 today. 43 off of Lindsay. Fly ball to left X, and this is the new left fielder because of the injury to Wynn. It's Haig. He's a 4E4, which is better than Watson, who would have been a 4E12. So he's a 4E4 in left field, only in there because of the Wynn injury. E4. And it's a fly ball B. That is huge. Absolutely huge. So he got the out. If you're following this result, whenever you see a parenthesis there, it means that the E rating calls that, not the fielding rating. And it was that very low E rating of 4 for Joe Haig, who is mostly known as a first baseman, but he actually is a first base 2E4, but he's also a 4E4 in right field. That is a grab for Haig. Big play for the whole National League on that one. That's an out. Now you have Davey Lopes. 57 off Lindsay's a strikeout, and with 2 outs, it's Buckner. He's had a pretty decent day today. He is 2 for 4. The pitch to Bill Buckner. 2-5. He hits his card again. It's triple 1-2, single dot dot. It is single dot dot. Runners on the corners. No, Buckner will run down to second with catcher's indifference there, as they're up by 3. So it'll be second and third, and it'll be Willie Crawford. Let's take a look at Willie Crawford. Plenty of power here. Willie Crawford's 1973 card, a 295 hitter with 14 home runs. What this would do, if he can get on base, he would break Frank Lindsay, the the Astro closer, with 3 base runners in the second inning of relief. So a guy getting on base is just as good here. Willie Crawford, the tie run with 2 outs, whole lot at stake. Here's the pitch to Willie Crawford. 49 off Lindsay is ball 4, and the Astrodome crowd has gone quiet here, grabbing their hands on their heads, going, what is going on? Because, ladies and gentlemen, with the bases loaded and 2 outs at the top of the 9th inning of a 9-6 game, we have your 1974 National League Most Valuable Player, Steve Garvey, coming to the plate. Steve Garvey hit .312 with 21 homers and 32 doubles in 660-some plate appearances, and Frank Lindsay has hit his point of weakness And I'm looking at, yeah, he's gone. He's put 6 guys on. He cannot finish this game. We are pulling Lindsay as he's got nothing in 2 innings. And they still have a chance to win this game. They have a choice of reliever to use here. I think they're going to go with Jim Ray. Jim Ray, who actually was the closer last year for the Astros. Very similar stats to Frank Lindsay. Jim Ray in 71 for the Astros was 10-4 with a 2.11 ERA in 98 innings. He actually has the same template as Frank Lindsay, if you believe in that kind of thing. He also doesn't give up any homers to righties. So they're very similar pitchers. Ray's even better against lefties. So it will be Jim Ray. In this situation, they like him versus the lefties LeMaster and Cosgrove. Boy, what a big leverage moment this play is. In the 9th inning, Jim Ray will come in to face Steve Garvey. Here it is, folks. Bases loaded, buckle up, and 2 outs. The pitch to Steve Garvey. 2-6, he delivers a base hit in the right field. You can hold, yeah, you don't have to, in this situation, you don't have to run when it's depending on the game. So they're leaving them loaded here. 9-7, bases loaded, as Cruz has a -2 arm anyway, so it's a moot point on a -2 arm. So it's 9-7 with the bases loaded, and you got Joe Ferguson at the plate. We saw Ferguson's card earlier with his 25 homers and 87 walks. And here he comes, folks. With the bases loaded and 2 outs, the pitch to Joe Ferguson in a 9-7 game. 57 off of Ray is a strikeout, and that will end the game. So running trying to advance an additional runner wouldn't have done a thing in this game, as it ends up 9-7. The Dodgers get a run in the 9th, but they have 4 batters reach. They just can't get enough, too much of a hole early in this thing. They tried to dig themselves out. Commendable job. Knocked out the Astro closer in the process. And oh my goodness, folks, the Astros are so glad they do not have to face Don Sutton in a Game 7. And this is kind of the breaks you get. This is how you just miss making the playoffs and how you just get in as a wild card. Bad luck for the Dodgers and very fortuitous day for the Astros. This could very well, when the season is over and the Astros are in the playoffs and the Dodgers don't make it, we could look back to this game. Something to think about. But we're still a long way from that. All right, let's get our box together here for you. And we'll look at the peril of the Dodgers. So it is Jim Ray who does get the save. He gave up a hit and a strikeout. Frank Lindsay didn't, maybe a little shaky as the closer for his new squad. He gave up a hit, a run, 2 walks, and a K in the 9th, plus 3 more hits and a run in the 8th and a K. Denny LeMaster had a nice 7th inning, giving up a hit. And Bob Johnson left with the lead, and the Dodgers came close, but they never got it. 4, 5, 6, gave up 8 hits and 5 runs that were earned, a walk and 3 strikeouts. Brewer, a hit and a K. Wasilewski, 3 up and 3 down. Joe Muller's 2 innings, they weren't very good either after Messerschmidt's bad start. Muller gave up 1, 2, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 was earned, 2 Ks, and then 2 more hits and a run in the next inning. And Messerschmidt takes the loss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits and 6 runs. You have a 3-base error in there, which is a little ridiculous. So 4 are earned. Andy Messerschmidt, is this really 8 walks? Let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 8 walks. That'll get you taken out in the 4th inning every time. 8 walks and 3 strikeouts. What a wild affair here in Houston. 1019-0108, 912-714. 3686-8636. Oh my goodness. Astros, man, they got something going here. They, like I said, they are a great carryover team if you can pick and choose the years between 71 and 74. And you haven't traded away Joe Morgan. And you haven't traded away Jimmy Wynn. And you haven't traded for Lee May, who isn't going to help you that much anyway. So that's what we're looking at with these Astros. Opportunistic use of the roster. These Astros are 12-8. They're only hitting .227 after all that offense we saw. A .308 team ERA. Durker is 4-2. Frank Lindsay does have 4 saves, but he's given up 5 runs in 9 innings. Cedeno does have 6 homers, 17 RBI, and 28 hits and 80 at-bats. He's hitting .350 pace in this team. The Dodgers fall to 6-9. They are hitting they're hitting a very .292 with a .374 ERA. But let's look a little closer at the number of runs you score. Dodgers have scored 71 runs. They've given up 73 runs. So again, the .292 is empty calories. You're getting the hits, but you're not bringing the runs across. Only 3 home runs for Joe Ferguson and 8 RBI. Garvey's 20 for 61. That's decent. He's hitting .333. But more importantly, let's look at the global look at the West of the National League. Here we are. The Giants having a great start, 11-4, and the Astros are 12-8. And the Dodgers are 5 games out of first. And yeah, this competitive National League, you got a lot of work to do to think about sneaking in the playoffs. You got the Astros, you got the Giants. The Mountain Time Zones, probably one team. Cardinals and the Reds, you can't ever count out the Pirates, even though they're struggling as well. And of course, the Phillies are surprising. The Mets are the Mets, and the Braves are there and struggling. You know, yeah. I wouldn't buy stock in the Dodgers, folks. They look like the 10th best team in the National League, 11th best team. That's it tonight for the National League West. Break up your Astros. They do beat the Dodgers 4-2. Thanks for checking this out, and we'll see you next time.